so we now have our interventions and our attributes live. So let's jump back to here. And we can skip past all of this because we've done this very quickly. Find our interventions, and now we're going to test. So we can jump straight to testing with the demo application. And that is available just here at this link in the tutorial. And again, I'll need some details from here. So I'll need my new collector URL. I'll need my profiles API URL as well. I'm going to start shopping. Hopefully I'll start shopping. There we go. And as part of this, it is recommended, obviously, to have your Snowplow Sandbox, your Snowplow and Spectre live at the same time as well, so you can see what's going on. One thing that is a little complicated at the moment, but is possible to do, is you can link Signal Sandbox with Snowplow and Spectre. You just need a few extra steps. So I'll just quickly put in Sandbox URL. Do note that at the moment you have to remove the HTTPS part from the URL here, otherwise it won't work. It's a bug that has been flagged and will be patched in the next release version. And the Sandbox token. All right, perfect. So that should now be working. And we can start to trigger off some of these interventions. So we have a look at the docs quickly. We've got our different interventions. So we have our discount intervention, which will happen after we've viewed 4 products. We've got our cart abandonment intervention, which is whenever we've clicked add to cart, and the trigger free shipping intervention whenever we have something over $100. So let's see if we can trigger some of these interventions. So I'm going to view 4 products. Okay, and we have our first intervention. You've got 10% off your next purchase. And on the left-hand side, we can see all the events that have been captured. So we've got our 4 e-commerce product view events and our intervention that's happened as well. And we can also view the intervention that occurred directly in the inspector, so we can see exactly what's going on. We can also start to have a look at the attributes that have been computed for my particular domain user. And I can see that my count product views is now at 4. And obviously, if I go and view a couple of others, I should see this counter in a couple of seconds increment to 6. Perfect. So that's the first one. Let's go and add something to the cart. So I've added some mascara. Apparently I need mascara. And I've got a second intervention. Now I've got to make sure I don't forget the items in my cart. And again, I can now see that my count add to cart is now at 1, and my total cart value is sitting at $9.99. So these attributes are being updated in real time, and my interventions as well, I can see have been fired. And now let's get some free shipping. So I'm going to buy a very expensive bed, and I'll get my last intervention, which is free shipping on orders over $100. And again, I can drop back here. I can see that my intervention is fired based on these criteria, and I can go back to the attributes. And I can see what my total cart value is and everything that's been commuted from my particular domain user, as well as all the Snowplow events involved in this. If I want to reset it, I can just hit reset user data, and that will flush my domain user ID so that any new tracking that happens will be against a new user identifier, and all the interventions can be triggered again. And with that being completed, that's kind of everything for the demo. So that's a very quick run through. Obviously, the longer way to go through it is to kind of define all of that directly in your notebook yourself. And as well, if you want to have a look at the tracking code underneath, there is a GitHub repository for all of it. And that is it.